Hey guys, just popping in real quick to say that I wanted to start off the new year right. I wanted to start the new year off right, so I wanted to do a little giveaway. So I wanted to give away a $50 gift card to Ulta. Now to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed, follow me on Instagram, and leave a comment down below, preferably organic, and you'll be entered. And this giveaway will last for 2 weeks. So yeah, happy New Year's, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. Welcome back to the first Making My Bad movies of the new year. I'm so excited. Don't mind the background. I changed my office setting around a little bit, so I feel like this background is like funky. I don't really like it, but it's gonna be fixed. But I really needed to film this video, and who cares? Anyway, let's just get started. So today we're gonna be talking about After, which I watched like of my own will. I always do this where I get started and I realize I don't have a mirror. I don't know how I expect to do anything without a mirror. Well, anyway, yeah, I was gonna say that I watched this like of my own free will around when it first came out, because I was really in my like Netflix YA movies bag. Like I was really in it. And I remember being like, was this a fan fiction? Like, it just feels like a fan fiction. And it is a fan fiction. It's a One Direction fan fiction. And the thing is, it's getting more common because a lot of people's fan fiction is getting published nowadays. But there's something so undeniably fan fiction about fan fiction that it is so easy to spot. And it makes it worse, honestly. Because it's not good. Like, it's not good. And this was a Wattpad fan fiction. And no offense to any of you guys who read Wattpad, but I think that Wattpad is bottom tier when it comes to fan fiction. It was like Archive of Our Own, fanfiction.net, Wattpad. Not that. But I did used to love to read the wolf stories. But that's not a fan fiction, that's just original work. But in terms of fan fiction, Wattpad is low tier. So anyway, this movie feels exactly like a fan fiction. And if you know what if you know, you know. And it's like the pacing is really fast. There's and everything is, how do I explain this? If you know, you know, but there's just like first of all, the tropes are always the fucking same. For fan fictions, we pick the same 5 tropes and we run with it for every fan fiction. It doesn't matter who it's a fan fiction for, it's gonna have the same 5 tropes, guaranteed. And then the pacing is just awful. So the movie begins with like this cheesy little dialogue about how the main character, how her life is only defined as like before and after dude who changed her life, which is really concerning. It's concerning, but we'll touch on this at the end. So our main character is Tessa, and she's getting ready to move out from college. Her mom and her high school boyfriend are help her move in everything. Tessa gets settled. She meets her roommate. Her roommate is really, really pretty. Every time she was on screen, I was like, wow. And so one day after class, Tessa goes and she takes a shower. And when she goes back to her room to get dressed, she noticed a man sitting on, she notices a boy sitting on her roommate's bed. And she asks him to leave so she can get dressed because she just took a shower. She's literally just standing there in a towel. And this... Get dressed?
Don't flatter yourself. I'm not looking. Are you sure?
Get out of my room. Get out of my room. Get out of my room. I do not care. Why would you say that? Another thing, just real quick, that I don't like about the story is that they try and set it up as an enemies to lovers, but they don't put enough energy in the enemies part. It's like, enemies, lovers. That's not, where's the burn, okay? Where's the build up? So a few days later anyway, her roommate invites her out to a party again, and this time she goes and she wears the most god ugly dress. It's definitely something that my mother would have made me wear to go to church as a child. it's awful. Like, it's awful, and I don't know why her roommate would let her out of the house like that. I would have been like, that's cute, but like, it's a little bit more casual. So like, maybe some jeans and a nice top. Like, I hate it. I'm sorry. I had secondhand embarrassment. I had to close my eyes for a second. I was so annoyed. It's at this party that Tessa ends up in a game of truth or dare, and this is where we find out that Tessa is still a virgin. And this is like a really big deal, which is kind of stupid because she's only 18. I feel like 18 to 20 is when people usually lose their virginity. I think everyone thinks that you lose your virginity in high school, but I think the reality is that most people lose it in college. She just started college like a month ago. Like, so they make a big deal. She then gets dared to kiss Hardin and she refuses. Also, Hardin is cute. I will say that. Hardin is a cute, nice to look at character. But as soon as he opens his mouth, it drives me insane. His accent sounds awful. So I was surprised to learn that he's actually British because it sounds fake. But besides that, he doesn't deliver. Like, he does not deliver in his character at all. He sounds so stale. So she steps outside. She calls her boyfriend because she's so upset about like what just transpired inside the party. And her boyfriend is acting like a child. Like, he's acting like a dick. He's like, oh wow, so you're like at a party, this is what you do now? She went to one party and she had one drink, and you're berating her on the phone as if you're her father. To me, honestly, grounds for breakup right there. Tessa and Hardin are in the same English class, and they end up getting in a debate that's sort of about the story that they're talking about, but sort of about their own encounter with each other. I also forgot to mention that on her first day of class, she met this boy named Landon, who's so cute. What a cutie. And they're becoming friends. He also happens to be Hardin's stepbrother. She runs into Hardin again at this coffee shop, and Hardin proposes. Like, he's like, let me take you somewhere, let me show you whatever, because basically he's like, we're gonna keep running into each other. I'm friends with your roommate. We should just be civil. Cool, right? So he takes her on a little drive and he goes out to this lake, and he says it's his favorite place to be. Like, it's just so peaceful there. And then they end up swimming together. They end up kissing. It's cute, you know? Feelings are building, right? They go to grab food afterwards and they're having a good time. And then some of his friends show up, and they quickly kind of like, not they, but he kind of quickly turns back into the Hardin he was before they went to the lake together. And like, Tess has a conversation with him, and she pulls him aside and she's like, oh, you know, don't worry. If it's because, you know, I still have a boyfriend, I'm gonna tell him about us as soon as possible. And Hardin's like, there's no us. There's no us. If you want to break up with him, but I'm not a relationship type of person. Like, there's no us. Then after that, Noah ends up coming to visit Tessa at school, and they hang out and they go to this campfire party. I can't figure out what is wrong with this. Like, it's just off. Anyway, they go to this campfire party and Hardin is there, of course. They start playing this game of suck and blow, which I've never heard of before. But so one of the guys, when it was his turn, he purposely lost so that he could kiss Tessa. And this makes Hardin really angry. Like, he hits the dude in like a little bout of jealousy or whatever, and he leaves. Later that night, Tessa gets a call from Landon, and basically he wanted her to come because Hardin was in a bad mood and he destroyed the house and everything, and he was like, I think you're the only one that he'll listen to. And I'm just like, when did we get there? When did we get to the point of her being the one to calm him down? Which is another thing I hate. Like, he has anger issues and he only responds, hate. But more importantly here, When did we get there? They hung out one time and then didn't talk again after that. Like, why are we at, how did we get to the stepbrother calling because you're the only one who can calm him down? How does the stepbrother even know that your relationship has gone that far? Because again, y'all hung out one time. So she does go over there and, you know, she calms him down, and Hardin apologizes for what he said and how he treated her. Then Tessa ends up spending the night there. Now, mind you, her boyfriend is sleeping in her bed at her dorm. So when she makes it home in the morning, her boyfriend's like, where were you? What the hell? And then he sees Hardin. Why would you bring your side piece? That's not good thoughtin' and bopping. Why would you bring your side piece? Anyway, he sees Hardin, he gets upset, he breaks up with her, rightfully so. Again, why would you bring your side piece? I would have been like, you know, come in an hour or so until he leaves. Why would I let you come with me? So anyway, a little time goes by and Hardin and Tessa are officially dating. There's a moment when they're about to have sex, but her mom walks in at her. So her and, what's it called? Her mom and Tessa end up in this huge argument because her mom's like, you know, that he's not good for you, he's gonna break up with you, he's gonna hurt you, da da da. And Tessa's like, let me live my life. Like, I've been living my life for you for years, so like maybe let me do my own thing right now. And then her mom cuts her off, which is kind of fucked up, honestly. Like, I can't imagine being cut off from my parents just because you don't like the guy that I'm talking to. I feel like that's very extreme. And then she, at the end of it, she was kind of like, sorry, my shoulder hurts, so I keep like reaching back. But at the end of it, she was like, he's gonna break your heart and I don't wanna hear about it. You're her mom. It's low-key, I wouldn't say abusive, but it's wrong. Like, it's not very kind. And then also, they're having this loud-ass argument in the middle of the stairway and nobody is stopping to listen. I guess I'm a real nosy bitch because I definitely would have been perched listening. You're arguing in the middle of the dorm. Like, everyone is walking past you and everyone's just minding their own business. Could not be me. I would have had first class seats. Anyway, so because Tessa's been cut off, essentially, Hardin proposes that they move in together in this little apartment that he's plant sitting for. So it's gonna be vacant and I hope he got permission, but so they're gonna stay there, right? They have this cute little montage of them, you know, doing stuff, falling in love. I do have to say, the plot, the script, the acting for this movie, awful. But it's so beautifully shot that you almost forget that it's not good. Like, it's beautifully shot. It's beautiful to look at. It's beautiful to watch. And the music is also fantastic. And it almost makes up for how bad everything else is. Hardin and Tessa end up they go to Hardin's dad's wedding reception. At the wedding reception, Hardin's dad is giving a speech about, you know, his son and everything. He mentions how much he loves him and whatever. And Hardin gets upset because he's just like, that's not the man I grew up with. Like, I don't know this version. And then he reveals that his dad was like a raging alcoholic growing up and he would get drunk all the time, and he got into an altercation with some guys at a pub and they came to the house looking for him, and when they couldn't find him, they attacked the mother. Really traumatic to witness. I can't even imagine as a child. But you know what will make you feel better? Some pussy. Because they went and smashed after that. And I just... I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it's funny. So Tessa ends up seeing some interesting texts from Molly. Molly is the girl from the beginning of the movie who Hardin was hanging out with at that party. But one of the texts is something like, when are you gonna tell her? So she brings this up to Hardin and she's all upset, naturally so, because that's really suspicious. And he's like, it's nothing. And he leaves. Before he leaves, he's like, don't you trust me? And she's like, yeah, then don't worry about it. No, you need to tell me, sorry. I do trust you, but you need to tell me because I don't like the way this sounds. So anyway, he leaves and he's gone for like a good minute. So Tessa's finally like, no, what the hell? And she goes and she tries to find him. And when she does, she finds him at the restaurant with Molly and some of their other friends, like the whole friend group basically. And this is where Tessa finds out that this all started with the dare. Hardin got dared. Hardin made a bet that he could make Tessa fall in love with him. And she's upset. Naturally, who wouldn't be upset? Side note, this is one of my least favorite romance tropes. The, you know, started with a bet thing, I don't like it because I just feel like it's not realistic to come back from. Like, I can't support any relationship that you have after that because you started with bad intentions. And it's gonna keep rubbing me the wrong way for the rest of our relationship. I just do not think that it's possible to come back from that kind of betrayal, you know? Is that me? But like, personally, I wouldn't forgive you, sorry. Like, I get it, like, it's cool. Oh, it's different now. I really like you. I don't care. This isn't super important, but Tessa ends up going home and her mom make up basically over the fact that she broke up with Hardin. And Tessa is a better person than me because ain't no way I would have told my mom that. Sorry, the last thing you said to me is that he's gonna break your heart. I can't. I don't like those type of I told you so moments. I wouldn't have told her that. I would have told her I left him, like, oh, we have different like beliefs and shit. There's no way I'm telling my mom that. But I also think that I'm just really stubborn as hell because I was a vegetarian for like 3 or 4 years simply off the strength that everyone told me I wouldn't last a month. And the thing is, I did want to stop after like 2 months or so, but I couldn't let people have that satisfaction because everyone told me I wasn't gonna last. So I did it for years. I'm stubborn. I definitely would not have told my mom that he broke up with me or he broke my heart or anything. Nope, sorry. So at the end of the movie, Tessa's professor gives her Hardin's essay and she's like, I think this was more for you than it was for me, which is extremely unrealistic because that's none of your business. That is none of your business, sorry. And also, it's a college professor. Like, I really don't think college professors in a big ass lecture hall give a fuck. Sorry. And how would you even know that that's the Tessa? Because that's not a completely uncommon name. They just doing shit and I don't like that. Like, make it make sense, please. In the essay, this is where Hardin confesses his love for Tessa. And after Tessa reads it, she returns to the lake to meet Hardin and the movie ends right there. My biggest qualm, I think, with this movie is that it's just unrealistic in terms of like relationship building and stuff like that, and which isn't like a huge deal, I guess. Some people like that unrealistic factor, but to me, I think that it's marketed towards teens, you know? So I think we have to be sometimes kind of be careful about what we show kids because I know I grew up reading fan fiction from like the age of 13. I know how that made me perceive my own relationships when I started dating, and then having to step back and be like, none of that is realistic and none of that is gonna happen. So I'm kind of against these very unrealistic tropes, especially with things motivated towards teens, and like they have this really kind of codependency on each other. That's also, I don't think we should be telling people that's okay. On top of the thing that I mentioned, Hardin shares this really traumatic thing, and this is when they decide it's the first time for them to have sex. Now mind you, it was not like a directly after, but like I just don't think that was a good, I don't think that was a good time. Romantic love isn't gonna heal your trauma, and we shouldn't be telling people like that. Like, that's not appropriate. So I feel like that's my biggest qualm with the movie. But again, I mean, the plot's just awful. It's awful, sorry, and it reeks of fan fiction. Even if you didn't know it was a fan fiction, if you had read fan fiction before and you saw this movie or read the book, you'd have been like, this is fan fiction. It just has that feel to it. It's unfortunate. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I forgot to mention that Making Bad Movies is gonna be moving to every other week because these are really time consuming for me to make, and I was stressing myself out last year with trying to push them out every week. So every other week. If you guys have any movie suggestions for me, be sure to leave it down below. Let me know your thoughts on the movie if you watched it, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.